All right, this is my critique of Uri Bronfenbrenner's ecological theory. So first up, the explanation of the theory. Right here in the middle, we have the individual, and the very first part of the theory is the microsystem. There are four main systems here, and the very first one, being the microsystem, is is made up of all of the things that the individual has direct contact with on a regular basis. For example, family, friends, coworkers, going home, going to school, or going to work or daycare. All of that is within the microsystem. Then we get into the mesosystem. The mesosystem really takes into account how all of these parts of the microsystem are interacting with each other and how they are bidirectional. So while the family impacts the school, or while the family may impact the staff at the school is also impacting the family at home. So it really talks about how all of these parts of the microsystem are interacting with each other. They're all connected in the child's development. Next up, we have the exosystem. The exosystem is a part of the theory where the person is not directly an active participant, but they are impacted. A good example of this is a parent's job. So if the individual is a child, they are impacted by their parents' work based on their schedule and their access to healthcare and their benefits and stuff, their income. All of that is going to impact the child, even though the child is not a direct participant, an active participant in their parent's job. The last one is the macro system. The macro system is really made up of all of the culture and the values, the beliefs, and the traditions that make up the child's life. And this also is a huge part of the child's development. Something else that was briefly discussed in the book was the chronosystem down here in the green. The chronosystem is basically the time. So based on when things happen in a child's life, it's going to have a different impact. So if a child's parents get divorced when they're very young, then it's going to have a different impact on them than if their parents got divorced when they were older, like a teenager or something, or maybe even after they moved out of the house. So the time really does still have an impact on the child's development. Something else worth mentioning is the techno subsystem. This was an addition after Bronfenbrenner's death, and it's not as well researched. It hasn't been around for that long, but still worth mentioning. It basically just takes into account the impact of technology on a child's development. When we get into the merit of this theory, one thing that I think it really has going for it is that it's tried and true. It's been around since 1979. Also, Bronfenbrenner himself put out some new ideas in 2004, so clearly we are still learning and adapting this theory as time goes on. With that, he talked about how genetics and predispositions and environmental factors all take an active role in a child's development, so it's not just about the environmental factors. He did amend his theory to involve genetics and predispositions as well. He also talked more about the bidirectionality of the theory. So while a person impacts the environment is also going to impact the person. It goes both ways. With critiques, really the only critique that I have is that it didn't offer any framework for what to do if there is a hiccup in one of these specific areas. So for example, if there's an issue within the microsystem, what do we do? Or within the mesosystem, what's the game plan to deal with this issue? It didn't really provide any of that, but still provides a great framework for an individual to get started working. And then we get to the application to school counseling. I think that this theory provides a really great framework for taking into account all the different parts of a child's environment when you're trying to understand them and get to the root of what makes this child themselves. So yeah, this theory provides a great framework for that, and I think it's a great addition to school counseling.